Welcome to the Spiritual Awakening with Shaz podcast, where we unlock the power within and navigate the journey of your self-discovery together. I'm Shaz Sini, your spiritual mentor and life coach, here to help you tap into your inner guidance system and manifest your best life. Whether you're just beginning your spiritual journey or looking to deepen your practice, this podcast offers insights, techniques, and inspiration to elevate your consciousness and transform your reality. Get ready to shine your light and embrace your true potential. Remember, the answers are inside you. Let me be your guide on earth. This week on the podcast, we're going to have a very deep and meaningful conversation about something that's very heartfelt, but it can also be very triggering for people. So please listen carefully and make up your mind whether you want to listen to the full episode or not. Because October is infant loss and pregnancy month, and it's about a conversation about miscarriage, abortion, stillbirth, or loss of children within early timeframes. And there's a lot of grief and associated emotions around this topic. It's very sensitive for some people, and I do want to issue a trigger warning if you have emotional overload around this. Please listen wisely. These are my thoughts, my feelings from my own experiences. I'm going to share some statistics, some information on the soul and its journey throughout this process, what I believe happens through my many years of experience of reading and doing psychic readings for other people and seeing all of these souls that have been lost and how they grow up in the same soul families and stick around with you throughout the lifetime. And I just want you to be mindful and aware as you listen. The statistics about this is overwhelming. 10 to 15% of all pregnancies result in stillborn or miscarriage. That is 1 in 70 births result in a stillborn. In this day and age, it is phenomenal that so many things seem to go wrong. But in saying that and doing so, this is the soul's contract, the soul's journey, and the baby and you as the parent and the mother and the father already negotiated this to happen. A lot of people don't like to look at it that way, and they find it very disconcerting to know that you chose to go through a journey like this. From my perspective and every understanding that I have through the many years that I've connected with this, meditated, sat with it, and gone through my own journey, I know this to be the greatest gift of love humans can give other souls. We create sufferance, pain, excruciating pain for ourselves in order to heal another soul. It's a gift. It is a gift of growth, of healing that they can't get anywhere else. And that contract is made between us that we volunteer and stick up our hands and say, we will go through this for you because of how much we love you. These are contracts that we make before we come here, knowing full well we'll go through this experience. The problem is when we get here, we forget. And so when we do experience it, we go through a gamut of emotions that are the wrong type of emotions. So many women believe they're at fault when they miscarry or have a stillborn, or that there's something wrong with them, that they're being punished, that this is karma. Please know, it is 100% not. This is you loving souls so much, loving the beautiful essence of earth, loving yourself and someone else to an nth degree that you will go through this process where that child needs healing within the womb space. It is the most amazing aspect of our earthly journey, of the humanness of us. And yes, not only humans go through this, animals go through the same. They go through the same contracts, the same feelings. If you've ever watched an animal lose a child, and there are so many stories out there nowadays where you see it, they grieve just as much as we do. It hurts them just as much as we do. And one thing I can tell you as a parent, when you lose a child, whether you lose a child in the womb at the very beginning when you're barely aware, at stillbirth, at full term, even afterwards, and it doesn't matter whether you grow up into an adult or any parent that loses a child, that loss is so great. We never forget. We always remember these children. We always honor them. And trust me, they are always with you. I'm not sure if you quickly saw the orb that flew past on the video, but I saw the children as they come through to sit with me, and I know their presence is always around. These souls grow up alongside you. I have done many readings where I've said to someone, oh, you've got, say, 3 children as an example. And they go, oh, no, I've only got 2. And I go, no, there's 3. And then I'll ask them, did you lose a child along the way? And they go, oh, yeah, I did. I said, see, they recognize that they're part of your family of 3 children. Many people, because we don't see the children, forget that they exist. Trust me, any mother going through this tells you that they don't forget. They never forget, and it impacts their life in many different ways. Very recently, Kylie Kelsey was talking about her own journey with miscarriage. She lost her first child long before Wyatt come along, and the impact that it had on her further pregnancies. So it creates fear. It creates all sorts of problems where you become afraid to share the joy of falling pregnant for fear that it might happen again. And unfortunately, it does sometimes happen again. I know many women that have had multiple miscarriages. I had a dear friend that I worked with way back in the day, and she ended up with 4 children and in between had lost 6. And I know someone that's got 2 children and had lost many of them. I only miscarried the once, but mine were twins, so the loss is exactly the same. Some people are aware of it and some people aren't. My heart truly goes out to those people that actually do reach full term and are left with a stillborn. I know many people that have done it. I've seen those babies in life and the journey that they create. Thankfully, nowadays, if you are unfortunate enough to have a stillborn child, the hospital allows you to be with them and you get to actually see the baby. Because back in the day when I was born, or even as many as 5 to 10 years ago, you never even saw the child. So this great gaping hole in your heart is left by not seeing anything about it because they thought whisking it away was actually better for you. But sometimes it's not. And we do also want to honor those babies that come and are born. And the statistics of how many babies die within that first 28 days of life is horrendous. Okay? 6 babies are born stillborn every day in Australia alone, and the stats around the world are horrific. And 2 more die within that 28 days. So to have your dream, any mother planning a family, their dream is to have their child, to grow up with that child, and have it snatched away with you creates deep fear and loss and grief and shame and blame and guilt and all of these horrifying emotions where they take responsibility that there's something wrong with them. They feel that they're broken. They feel that they did something wrong. They sometimes come out with, oh my God, I'm being punished. These were all thoughts that at one stage I myself had. Okay, it didn't help that I had people tell me that I wasn't worthy of being a mother, that I wasn't good enough, that I didn't deserve this. The heartbreak associated with that was phenomenal. I had so much healing that I had to do in regard to the miscarriage of my twins and in regards to my own inner self, from things my mother said that were meant to hurt. They were used as weapons against me from inadvertent people when I knew my body was at risk. I had a fibroid when I fell pregnant. I knew there was a chance of it. But I shared it with people. I asked them kindly not to share it with other people up until I was 12 weeks and past a safe period. And they shared it and they carried guilt with that. Okay, the loss was heartbreaking. But what was even more heartbreaking, and please find in your heart empathy and compassion for anyone that ever goes through this, because a young woman, mother, whoever it may be to you, but the person going through it, to so happily share their pregnancy news, to be so excited about this baby and wanting the world to know about it, to then come and have to tell you that they lost that child. So many people just dismiss it. They tell you to move on with your life, to forget it happened, to get over it. Please, for God's sake, never, ever, ever tell a grieving mother to get over her losses. Okay, there is heartache there because these are born in love. It is the greatest gift of love you can ever give another soul. It is a contract that you create, but they don't understand that. All they feel is, I must have done something wrong. It's my fault. My body's broken. My mind's broken. And to all those women who go through IVF or assisted fertility and the egg doesn't take, or it takes for a little bit and it doesn't hold, and you have this dream because you're told that a baby is being implanted and then it doesn't sit with you, and you punish yourself because you think your body is broken. These are still acts of love that you have chosen to go through because you want to help other souls out there. It's hard to conceptualize. It's really hard to understand. But from my perspective, it is the truth over the many, many experiences that I've had with it. My heart and soul goes out to every single mother out there, whether you are a mother of children on earth, lost children, miscarriages, abortions, stillbirths, or short children. Like, I'm not just talking the first 28 days. Some children only come for very, very short periods. But let me tell you, every soul that passes through a womb, whether it stays for 1 day, 10 months, or any time at all within that period of the pregnancy cycle, they're never ever forgotten. People think that parents move on and that they forget them, but it always comes back. They don't forget you. They sit with you. They grow with you. They age in the spiritual world. They grow up. Today, my twins would be nearly 18 years old, and they are teenagers, and I sense them. My cousin lost 2 children when they were 1, and they've grown up, and one's 21 and the other's 18, and they do evolve and grow in that way. Your children grow with you. They are always around your family. If you have a reading with a medium, they will come and give you messages of love and let you know what's going on up there. So know that your sacrifice is appreciated, loved, and these souls honor you. Hence why they sit with you. They are there with you. Like any loss of anyone, they come back and visit us. They stay with us. They show their presence with us. Because you are so worthy and you are such a beautiful human being who offered this sacrifice, this gift to somebody else. So for those women out there who have been through this, know that your children love you. They are with you. There are many ways you can connect with them. You can come and have a psychic reading with a medium and get confirmation in that way. I know spiritual artists who can draw your babies, draw your children as they look like, as they grow, as they age, because their images will come through for you. In meditation, you can learn how to do this yourself. We see them in pictures. You can take pictures and you'll see orbs floating around. You will see their images. Sometimes they show up as rainbows in photographs and things like that. There are many people out there that will tell you they're just light refractions, but light refractions don't move when they're on a camera, okay? Nowadays, in the age of digital photography, it is so unique. It captures all of these little souls around you. And it is of any loved one, whether it's a child, a parent, a friend, or anyone that's crossed over to spirit, they will show up in this photography. Now, I want to share with you my own personal journey through this loss. Back in 2007, I fell pregnant. I was so excited. I'd been through a lot of trauma that year, and I'd been really, really sick at the time. I had a hiccup problem in my body that wouldn't go away, and I fell pregnant and everything slotted into place. I was the happiest I'd ever been. But one day I was at work and I had the tiniest bit of spotting that most people would have ignored, and I knew deep in my soul and in my gut something wasn't right. I'd been blessed because a couple of weeks before I'd had an ultrasound just to check everything, because we knew my fibroid could be a problem. So I'd had a close relationship with my gynecologist. I'd gone in and I'd had bloods taken and I'd had this scan, and we seen the 2 little heartbeats on the Doppler. They were very minute, but we saw them. So on this day, I rang up to my doctor, my gynecologist, and asked for an emergency appointment. I told him that I was spotting, and he made an appointment for me straight away. And when I went in there, we couldn't find them on the scan, and I was devastated. And I knew that this was I knew. And trust me, most mothers know. I had no symptoms. I was not really bleeding. I was not hemorrhaging or anything like that. And I know many people that go through that sort of problematic loss. That's how it happens for them, is they start bleeding unexpectedly and things happen. But I went in and my doctor I had to have a D&C surgery in order to clear the womb. And I was lucky that they lasted until I got to the surgery, because when they did it, I had a massive, massive blood loss. So even in the greatest loss and the hardest aspect of my life, I was guided, protected, and so connected to my soul and God and the angels that they took care of me to get me into a hospital before the worst could happen. Because there was danger that if I wasn't in hospital when this all fell apart, that I probably might have hemorrhaged to death and I may have died along with it. Another one of those awful statistics, and I didn't actually grab the numbers on it, is the amount of mothers that die through pregnancy and birth. And we honour them too. So for all those children whose mothers sacrifice themselves to bring you into this world, that also creates all this guilt, all this shame, all this blame that you are responsible for that. You are never responsible. That is the gift that they chose to give you. This is the contract that you created to come to life in this way, and honour that. Honour all our parents. Honour all the people that are involved in this. This happens so often and frequently that too many people feel so bad about it that they can't talk about it. I'm blessed. I have pictures of my children. I'm surrounded by psychic people and I'm very connected. And I went and got a picture drawn of them many years ago, and it's beautiful. So that memory is there. I also get to see them. But if you're not one of those people that do, please reach out and connect and go and see someone that can help you. There are many ways for you to understand the lessons, learn what you need to learn, and to have that healing space come up. This is not something you get over. This is not something that you forget. It can and will haunt you. And as Kylie Kelsey mentioned, she talked about her losses going into her future pregnancies that she's just had and the fear that underlies. I want to help relieve that fear for people, because that creates problems where you're losing out on the beautiful joy and love. And when one person has one miscarriage or multiple, the fear stays there. And this is something that you need to regulate within yourself. Okay? No life or soul is ever wasted. They're not throwaways. They're not something that stops existing. They just grow up on a plane that's not on 3D Earth. And they do exist and coexist with you and your family. I know many, many people who have had future children, and they talk about their siblings that they never were aware of, but they know of them before they come. I also know of multiple, and I can't get the exact numbers, but a fair few multiple of souls that come for that healing period that were miscarried at however many weeks, and then they chose to come back again and were birthed into the same family. These are aspects of the soul and the intergrowth of everything that happens in the greater universe of humanity and souls coming to earth, and through the spiritual process that become clearer and clearer with each time that we do go along. So also remember that during the womb healing, the soul doesn't measure time the same way we do, because time in spiritual terms is really quite simultaneous, but when we get to 3D Earth, it is linear. It is segregated by days, minutes, seconds, and so forth. So that time in the womb that we give them, that's eternal progress. That is the eternal healing, the massive impact that it has on that soul for the future lives that it chooses to create. And in its own way, there's sacrifices that the soul makes to come for that presence for that short amount of time, but it does get great growth. One thing I do know for sure is many people go through this simply because it has a massive impact on their soul's journey. My cousin, for example, the loss of her 2 children, even though they were babies that were born and got to live to 12 months old, that impacted the way that she showed up in the world. I know of other people that had stillbirths that have raised money raised awareness, helped people create foundations. These things wouldn't happen without those experiences. So know that your personal experience with your journey of pregnancy or loss or whatever has happened has all been part of the greater grand picture of bringing you to your soul's mission, your soul's journey and purpose in life. There is a reason for each and every aspect of it, and you may or may not know it depending on the awareness of the spiritual awakening within you. This is something that is so different for each and every person that has gone through it. My story is highly different to other people's stories. My story sometimes upsets me so much simply because I never got to have other children. But that's okay, because these two children had a massive impact in my life and still do to this day. I remember them each and every day, and they show up in many ways, and they encourage me to talk about it and share this story. And it's not the first time I have talked about it, because I do believe awareness needs to happen. There are so many people out there that are too afraid to talk about it. I do, and I would love to see more support groups for this sort of thing, more connections, more availability to discuss your journey of what happened to you, how you went through it, what is your growth, what is the evolution, what is the ascension that you're going through, what have you gained from it? Because even though there is great loss, there is also massive, massive gain along the way. Stop asking yourself, why me? Why did I have to go through this suffering? Why am I being punished? And start looking from it, what did this teach me? What did I gain? And how am I better because of this experience? Because underneath you certainly are better, because you're still here. Your memories exist. You create memories moving forward, and it has impacted on the way that you show up in the world. It has changed your identity. It's changed the way you interact with people. And sometimes that might just be to have more compassion, empathy, and understanding for others going through it. Because the other thing I do know for sure, as a psychic and a medium, a lot of customers that come to me are because I've been through that and I have complete understanding of it. I have total empathy and compassion because I have personal experience, and that makes all the difference in the healing journey. So if you have been through this and you don't have someone to talk to, feel free to reach out and connect. And I'm always happy to listen to these stories. You need to turn them into reality, okay? They live with you. They grow with you. I named my children. They like to have names. I got told through a psychic reading many years later of that someone picked up on my own loss and we were talking about it. And he asked me, have you named them? And I said, oh, I had names for them. And he goes, then honor them with those names. Because I already knew what I wanted to call them. I decided a fair way back, and the names just stick. And I think of them like that each and every day. They show up to me in reality. And the more you humanize them, the more you look at it beyond the soul in itself and remember that they are a child, they are a part of our existence, and you give them that name, the easier it is to talk about it, to honor them, and to communicate with them. You can communicate with them each and every night. I wish them good night every time before I go to bed. I say good morning to them when I wake up. I honor them throughout the day because I do have those pictures and I'm blessed in that way. But even if you don't, you can have a keepsake, you can have a name, you can have ornament, you can have a doll, we all, trust me, have some sort of remembrance, whether it's a blanket, a bottle, a piece of clothing that we got for it. Because any new mother, when they discover they're pregnant, straight away go out and buy something for that future baby. Honor that. Be with that. And most of all, remember to love and to know the love that they have for you is beyond any other love that you'll ever receive. Okay? Loss teaches us many different things. It takes away all of the hardship. This journey helps us grow in indefinable ways. We are never the same person afterwards as we were before. We are more aware, more mature in many ways. And my heart truly goes out to the very young girls that go through this. I was quite grateful. I was 34 when I miscarried, but I do know many people that happen in very early ages, and the suffering, they just don't have the comprehension to deal with it. Okay? It opens your heart in many ways that it never ever could have before, but it also can shut it down at the same time. I know many women go into their shell, they go into deep depression, they suffer really deep bouts of grief. And I know many women that are never the same, even when they have children to replace the others, because there actually is no replacement. They're just additions. And you can't think like, I'll just have another one to replace it. Many people think that when we lose an animal, oh, just get another one to replace it. You can't do that with children. You can't even do that with pets. We have to honor each one individually as they are and become aware. Not build a shrine and think about them and block out everything else, but live your life as they are there. Include them in your activities. Include them in your daily existence. Allow them to float through. Talk about them. The best thing anyone who's ever been through this can ever do is to talk about them as if it's real, because it is. Don't hide from it. Don't create shame from it. Don't create guilt from it. Let it go. Talk about them. Discuss it. And if you can't find people that are willing to listen, and because it's so hard for them to understand, and remember, there are plenty of people out there who've never been through it that never ever want to discuss it. But if you find a fellow soul who's been through the journey, we'll always sit down and remember with you. Our hearts will cry with you. We will feel with you. We will experience the joy, the loss, the emptiness, everything with you. We will go through that gamut emotions together. And sometimes doing it with another person creates deeper healing than anything you've ever done before. One of the great things this type of loss teaches you is love is not bound by physical form. We get taught that we love things that are just physical, like we love our children, our family, our siblings, our parents. Love is not in physical form. We love pets and animals and everything like that. Love is actually eternal. You can love something that's not there or in many ways never truly existed. We can love people that come along before us that we never met because we carry their memories with us when we're born. If you actually look at children born today, many of them will talk about people that have been in our family in their soul's journey long before they even existed, and the awareness of them carries forward with it. Okay? When you do go through this great loss, you are cracked open in the deepest way known and possible. But in it, when you do open up that awareness changes you. You have a whole different perspective on love, on connection, on earth, and you appreciate and have gratitude for so much more. I know when I was very young in my journey of the healing process, I found it very difficult to be around newborns and babies and to see other people having happy families. And yes, it creates jealousy and envy, and we punish ourselves for that, but they are true emotions that we do need to feel. Nowadays, newborns and babies bring so much joy and light to my life. I love seeing them, the essence, the purity, the blessing to understand the journey that soul has come through and what is the life that they're going to bring about. Okay, it creates a deep grief and grace that helps us exist together in better ways, and it helps us really come and connect with others deeper than we ever have been able to do before. As I said, this pain never wavers. It can get less, but if you think about grief on any aspect of any journey, whether you've lost a parent, a child, a sibling, a partner, a friend, a lover, grief never really ever goes away. It just gets more and more accepted as part of who you are. But also remember, for those going through this journey, or even if you've never been through it, underlying that grief is deep love. From my perspective, grief is so strong because it's the absence of love not felt. All you have to do is open your heart, call your energy together, ask them to come near, and you will feel that love. And that love, their expression of self, and the honor that they have for you is the most healing aspect of all. You go through stages where you're numb and disconnected and you can't feel anything and you cry and you sob and you go through all of that. Allow that to pass and transverse through the body. Allow it to filter through and release away from you. It is all part of the healing process. And there is no one way to grieve. There is no one way to handle this. I know mothers that have screamed and cried and rocked back and forth and suffered great loss for long, long times. And I know other people that go through it and literally it's like it never really happened because they just bottle it down, bottle it down, bottle it down. But one day it will rise up again. This emotion comes in waves and it ebbs and flows, and any grief does that. Grief is not a straight line. It is overwhelming. It comes with anger, it comes with rage, it comes with despair, it comes with loss, it comes with sadness, it comes with hurt, it comes with pain, it comes with joy, it comes with laughter. The funny part, you can go through all of these emotions in like 15 minutes. Where you're angry and you're railing at the world, and then at the end of it, you're just laughing because you know that love exists and you know that that happened to be part of your story, part of who you are. So if you have been through this journey, please share your story. Find beautiful people to talk about it. If not, open up on social media because there are plenty of other people out there who do need to hear about it as well. But just sit and listen and come and do this heart activation with me, okay? We get to feel and call forth our children, our family members, our friends, or whoever we are lost in spirit, okay? They're not actually lost, they're just lost to us from earth, and they're on a spiritual plane or a dimension that's slightly away from us. It's in a sidestep door. They are very, very close, and if we connect, they will come with us. So just place your hands over your heart center. Close your eyes and focus on your breath for a minute. Take a deep breath in. Just hold it there for a minute and then let it out. Another deep breath in. Hold. And then let it out. As you sit with your hand on your heart, I want you just to imagine the child or children that you've lost, for I know many have lost more than one. And as you imagine them, a soft and golden light is going to surround you. And you're going to feel this beautiful glow, this gorgeous essence as they settle near. Breathing deep. Feel them come to you. Feel that essence sit around you. And as you feel them near, I want you to just whisper to them and have a gentle conversation, telling them that you see them, how much you love them, and thank them for choosing you, even for that moment, to be connected, to come forth in this journey. Let them know how much you love them, how beautiful their memory is to you, and how proud you are that you were able to offer this gorgeous healing gift to them. Acknowledge your worth in this area, in this beautiful essence of the power of who you are. Now I want you to release any fear, any guilt, all shame, all blame, all recrimination and hatred for self. any unworthiness, any aspect of you that feels that you are responsible for this. You open yourself and your heart with love, with grace, for healing. And with each breath, I want you to honor your soul's journey. The choice you made to be beautiful, kind, compassionate, to have deep empathy, and the love that you had inside of you that said, yes, I will do this for you. I will go through this greatest grief, this greatest pain, this greatest hurt for you. And as you reach out and embrace this beautiful, loving feeling that you can feel tingle and settle over your shoulders, as you feel that energy come close, remind them how important they are, how much you will always love them, and feel that love and blessing in return. Feel that love expand through your chest, settle over your aura, sit deep, beautifully within your body. Allow it to radiate out through your chest. Open your arms and embrace them. Feel them in your heart. Carry them in your arms, knowing full well how much you love them and how much they love and honor you. This soul is part of your heartbeat. It is with you every single day. It never ever goes away. It will remain with you for always because they are attached to you until you meet again. And they love that for you because you are amazing. You gifted them this greatest gift of healing that any other soul could give to another. You stood up, you were proud and said, I will do this for you. I will offer you this gift at deep sacrifice to self because I can. Some other powerful things that you can do to connect with your child. I love to do it through journaling. Just write them a letter. If you know their birth date or even the date that they crossed over, honor them on that day. Remember them with ease. Create a picture, a visualization, or a little mantle to them. Honor them. Have them around. And as you journal with them, imagine. And don't think your imagination is just something you're making up, because what it actually is opening up the intuition to tell you who and what they are. So I sit there, and when I imagine my children, and I sit there and go, so what would you be doing? What would you be like? And as I feel this, I get tingles of them, because I know, and I'm blessed to know deep in my soul and my heart, that I had a daughter and a son. And my daughter is creative and she's very musically orientated, which is quite funny because I can't sing for peanuts. But she loves music and she expresses through beautiful poetry, because I know when I communicate with her, that is how it comes to me. And I know I had a son, and I know that he's very athletic. He plays footy like my nieces and nephews do. He's very fit, which he tries to get me to be fit, and it doesn't always work. But he's also very, very smart and very open-minded. I get a lot of spiritual insights from him. So imagine, what would your children be like? What are their favorite foods? What are the fun things they like to do? How do they show up in the world? Are they cheeky and fun or quiet and introverted or extroverted? Are they outgoing and gregarious, or are they just nurturers and compassionate and empathetic. What do they look like for you? You can also create a beautiful altar where you can light a candle, lay some flowers, or have some knickknacks. I have a beautiful pair of male and female little statuettes that represent the children, and I got their names of what I named them and the words about what their name means and who they are and how they would show up. And this beautiful essence of just their vibration. What do they look like? Do they have long or short hair? What color are their eyes? Do they have your features? Are they different to you? And as you sit in remembrance, just visualize that, and an image will appear right in front of you. And trust me, it is exactly what they do look like. Because we don't really imagine things that can't be true. You can also do deep meditations that connect to the Akashic record and the Akashic field or the other side, and bring them close. Feel their essence surround you. Imagine that bubble. Feel them in your arms. Rock them together. Hold them in your heart. The greatest practice that I love doing is Ho'oponopono, and it was one of the greatest gifts that enabled me to find that depth and that closeness again, and all the forgiveness work on myself. Because when it first happened, all it did was reverberate through my head the words of my mother that said, I don't have any children because I don't deserve them. And for a long time, I used to think she was right, and that devastated me, that I must be such a horrible person that I can't have children. But it also turned me somewhat judgmental of what's so wrong with me when I can see other people out there and other children out there that have parents that don't want them, that treat them so badly. And why, when the greatest thing I ever wanted was to have children, why wasn't that possible for me? But it come about from my greater understanding of the soul's journey and the Akashic record and the contract that I made. This was part of my journey. I chose, before I came, not to have this. I had plenty of opportunities to have children. I made clear decisions when I was 16 not to have any children as a teenager. I was very mindful of the relationships that I stepped into, and I didn't want to have children without having that complete family. But all of these things I had to forgive, I had to heal, I had to thank myself, I had to understand the depth of who I am. What is my soul purpose? What is my mission? Why am I here? And this experience just gave me greater empathy, greater connection, greater understanding and acceptance so that I can help others. This is how my business got birthed. This is how this always led me to this way. For if those children were born, I may not be who I am today. And the person who I am today, I'm very proud of. I love her, and I would not change it for anything. Yes, I wish my children were here. Yes, I would do anything to have them. But at the same time, I wouldn't want to lose who I am, because this is me. And you are who you are because of what you've been through, because that's how you got here. I also want to remind you, do not grieve in silence. Find a support group, reach out. If you're really stuck and you've been through this and there is no one to talk to, please connect with me. I will always sit and talk to you. I would love to hear your story. I would love to help you heal, and I would love to help you bridge that connection so that you can feel them for yourself. Healing isn't forgetting. It's just remembering with more love than pain. It is bringing that essence closer to you. And this is all about any form of grief, any form of loss that you've ever been through. Those days where you go by and you don't cry and you're not sad and you don't have that depth of wariness for them doesn't make you bad, and it doesn't mean that you forgot. It just means you remember them more with grace, with love, with happiness, and you remember the reason for them. Okay? Because everything in life has a reason. So I just want to offer this heartfelt thanks to all the mothers and fathers out there, the grandparents, the siblings, the friends, to anyone who has lost a child. May you know this. Every tear that you drop is sacred. Every heartfelt beat in your heart is honored. Every heartbeat that stopped too soon lives in eternity. They wait for you, they hang around, they love. And that love you have for them, that real love, never, ever dies. Your child, your child's soul, that being that would have been, stays in your family lineage, and it is in your spiritual journey, your spiritual family, your soul family connection forever. It never disappears. You will meet again one day. They are there waiting for you, but they are also here with you. They will make their presence known. Look out for the signs, feel the feels, listen, and you will hear them, sense them, see them, or just know that they are there. I want to thank you for allowing me to share this story with you. My heart does go out to each and every one of you who've been along this journey. I honor you. I see you. I feel you. I do not know the exact depths of your own journey, but I know the depths of mine. And my heart and soul honor the soul and heart of you and that of your child or your children. They love you. They wish nothing but the best for you. They smile, they bring joy, they bring laughter. They show up as butterflies and dragonflies and little fairy things and lights and sprinkling lights. One of the things I know about my children quite often is they drop glitter where I've had no glitter at all. So when I know that I've been sprinkled with glitter, I used to think it was one of the archangels, but I always know it's the children. And they're just different colors. I get blue and yellow for my son, and I get pink and green for my daughter. And they show up on different arms. They will find their unique way to connect with you. Open your heart, sit in silence, and just ask them to come close, for they are always there. Until next time, stay gentle with yourself and stay connected to your light. And remember, your soul and theirs are always connected. Thanks for listening to the Spiritual Awakening with Shaz podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below so you don't miss an episode. You can also follow us on Facebook with the links below. Until next time, trust your intuition and let your spirit soar.